Just don't nobody ruin it. Let's just sit here for a second and smile inwardly and let the smile break outwardly. Oh, it feels so good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the stream, even if you're watching it later. I appreciate it. Um, I feel happy. There, like I said, this game. Obviously, every game is important to Miami this year, going into the end of the season. Not just for playoff hopes. That's not what I'm talking about. Just for growth of the team and experience. Every game is so important for this team. Um, Miami Dolphins pulled out the win, 34-10. And when I say pulled out, I don't mean it was close. I mean this was an absolute butt whooping. The Miami Dolphins dominated this game in every aspect. It was an absolute pleasure to watch. That obviously, now when I say that, there's obviously some small things that weren't, perfect. But as a whole, this is what I've been wanting to see from Miami. This is what I've been wanting to see from our team for quite some time. 34-10 on the back of our running backs. Not just Devon Achane, obviously. We know the deal with him. He got injured. It looks like a rib injury. I don't know much more about it at this point. We'll see how it ends up playing out. But this should show you that even if Devon Achane is out, our running game can flourish. And that's what we saw today. We saw a flourishing run game. And I'm so happy. I got my boom arm back from my microphone. I haven't had it for, I don't know, like a month and a half, 2 months. So I'm just very happy to have this back. I can actually get my microphone where I need it, and it doesn't get in the way on my desk. I'm so happy. Fence for the win. That's right, man. Thanks for coming in, brother. Those of you that are in here, make sure you throw the like down when you come in. I appreciate it. Kind of going to talk about the game, look at some stats, and then we're going to watch a couple plays. Hopefully I don't get my videos struck by YouTube and the NFL. And it seems like they're really, really trying hard to crack down on showing NFL plays on our YouTube channels. But I'm going to try. And if I get struck, I get struck. It is what it is. Those of you that are watching it live will get to watch some of these highlights together. And we'll talk about the game itself. I mean, the game started out, it couldn't have been any better for a start for this team. Everything was going our way, just chunk play after chunk play. It was amazing to see. I was so happy. Devon Achane was running like a beast downhill. The Jets on defense were playing scared. They were on the snaps taking steps backwards. It was amazing. I was really expecting a little more attitude from the Jets coming out in this game. They were wearing their super cool jerseys. I'm not even going to front. I love their jerseys. The rivalry jerseys that the Jets have are amazing. I love it. I know some people don't like it, but I did. I thought most of the rivalry jerseys are pretty sick, except for Arizona's I thought were stupid, and the Bills I don't like either, really, and the Patriots too. But the Jets ones I thought were sick, and I really expected them to come out with a little more attitude in this game and play a little harder. But it wasn't in the cards for them today. They got smoked. It's just that simple. The Miami Dolphins did what they wanted to do on offense and on defense. And when we talk about stats, holy crap. It's interesting. If you look at the stats for this game and the tail of the tape, which is usually only part of the story, today it was not part of the story. Today it was how the game went. Was not close in any aspect. Pardon me. Look at the stats here so we can start talking about this a little bit. I didn't think of that. I didn't really think of it as a manhole covers the way the design was. And now that you said it, great. Now that's all I'm going to be able to see. But as far as the jerseys go, I did think that their jerseys are actually pretty sick. I even told Richie from Jets Media that I thought their jerseys were pretty cool too. A lot of Jets fans don't like them. I thought they're all right, but if they play the way they played today, wearing those jerseys, I would understand all Jets fans not ever wanting to see those jerseys again. Let's start with the bleh spot for the Miami Dolphins, and that was once again Tua Tagovailoa, 13 of 21, 127 whole yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. He took a sack, just one. Offensive line played very well today. Tua's rating was 94.7. So this wasn't like a horrible game from Tua, but it was a very mediocre game. Certainly he had opportunities to have a better game, and he just didn't take advantage of it. I can think off the top of my head, aside from his one fumble, which we did recover, I can also think of 3 specific pass plays where we are lucky that they weren't intercepted. 3 turnover-worthy plays for sure. And these were not fault of the receivers. These were fault of Tua's ball placement and decision-making. But like I said, I'm not losing sight of the fact that we won this game, and we won it handily. I'm just saying that I would like to see a lot more out of our quarterback. But not a horrible game, just a very managerial type of game for Tua. When you're running the ball like we were today, you don't really need to throw a bunch. All right. So thus the 13 of 21 for 127 yards. It is what it is. Brady Cook ended up coming into the game for the Jets because Tyrod Taylor hurt himself, got injured. Tyrod Taylor was 1 of 4 for 6 yards before he went out and had an interception. Then Brady Cook came in and went 14 of 30 for 163 yards and 2 picks, no touchdowns, a rating of 35.8. Not a good game from any of the quarterbacks for the New York Jets in this game. Obviously, Justin Fields wasn't even suited up today. He's injured already. So now the Jets have a rough end of the season coming with big questions at quarterback. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor has been their answer since they benched Justin Fields got hurt. But they got some work to do. Breece Hall, 14 carries and 43 yards. That's a 3.1 yard average. So Breece Hall was very pedestrian in this game, and the Jets needed him to have a huge game if they wanted to have a chance in this game. Breece Hall had to have a big game, and he did not. Yes, it was, Kat. I mean, that was huge. It was beautiful. It's like he's been practicing with the Thigh Master, way he trapped that ball between his legs. That was incredible. It was amazing. And Minka's like the only one initially that was like, "Yo, he didn't drop that ball. That ball was caught." He's running off with it. It was hilarious. Minka went straight to the other team's end zone to celebrate, even though the refs had called it incomplete. That was it was hilarious to me. So the leading receiver for the Jets was Mason Taylor, 5 catches with 51 yards. Not anything to write home about. It's a good game for Mason Taylor, but when you think about the fact that he was the leading receiver with 51 yards, he needs more help. John Mechie has 4 catches for 34. Adonai Mitchell had 1 catch for 24 yards. Isaiah Williams, 2 catches for 24, and it just gets worse from there. Tua looked a little better at times. Perhaps he'll be consistent enough moving forward to continue with the playoff pursuit. And Costa, like I said, it wasn't like an ideal game from Tua, but I was happy that he managed the game, right? At least there was that. He did have 3 almost interceptions that bugged the crap out of me. But like I said, I'm not losing sight of the fact that we dominated this game. And like I said, when you have a game where you're dominating with the run game like we were, there's not much need for Tua to do anything except don't turn the ball over, right? And he didn't do that today. So that's mark it a win, right? And definitely a better game than he had the last couple weeks, even with the small amount of yards. So not losing sight of that at all. Yeah, Adonai Mitchell had 6 targets, and he had 1 catch. Part of that you can chalk up to the fact that, Brady Cook is the one throwing him the ball for most of those. One of those intended passes came from Tyrod Taylor. But like I said, this was a fantastic defensive effort by Miami all around. in the secondary and on the line. So, Adonai Mitchell was 1 catch on 6 targets. And let's see. For the Miami Dolphins, we talked about Tua a little bit. Let's talk about this rushing attack from the Miami Dolphins. 24 carries for Jalen Wright, 107 yards and 1 touchdown. That's a 4.5 yard average, and it's a beautiful, fantastic game by our backup running back. Jalen Wright, I'm telling you, Jalen Wright could start, and I've said this before, he could start on probably half the teams in the league, or at least get significant play time on most teams in the NFL. He's a bruising running back, and if people forgot how he likes to run the ball, you watch this game and you see it. He does not shy away from contact at all, to the point where sometimes I'm like, man, could you just kind of go the other way? Can you not jump into contact all the time? But it's the way he runs the ball. He's very, very hard-nosed, and he's shifty too at the same time. So it's an interesting combination to see, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I was very happy that Jalen Wright had a big game like this. It sucks that it happened because Achane got hurt. Hopefully Achane can come back and it's not a big deal. But like I said, you look at this combined rushing attack. Jalen Wright, 24 carries on 107 yards. Devon Achane, 7 carries on 92 yards. Both those players had a rushing touchdown. Jalen Waddle had that 121-yard rush in the beginning of the game. It was beautiful. You got to love it. Ollie Gordon, 5 rushes, 17 yards, and a touchdown. 3 rushing touchdowns today for our team. Fantastic. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the Jets are struggling, man. I realistically, I actually, you know what? I don't know if you follow Richie with Jets Media, but I do. And I was talking to him. I joined his channel and told him, I remember back in the day when Jets and Dolphins games meant a lot more. And I remember when it seemed like the Jets and the Dolphins were the kind of the pride of the AFC East. And I told him that I miss those days. I do. I really do. I think that Jets-Dolphins games usually are amazing games to watch. There's always something fun to see. As far as Jets fans go for this game, it probably wasn't as fun as normal Dolphins-Jets games for the Jets. It's just because it wasn't close. But, I mean, there's always next year. Tua moves to 8-0 against the Jets. But like I said, you can't say Tua. You got to say the Dolphins as a whole. The Dolphins as a whole won this game and just about every category. So, not giving a whole bunch of credit to Tua in this game, but I will give credit to the Dolphins defense and the Dolphins offense as a whole, especially our running game. Dolch is really playing well. Maybe utilize the tight ends with a stout run game more. I agree. And we did for the most part today. We used the tight ends smartly today. We didn't overabundantly use them. We didn't go crazy to give them the ball and feed them ball after ball after ball. But when we needed some yards and we had a chance to get the tight ends involved, we did. And on top of that, the tight ends blocked amazingly today. And that's part of the reason that the running game was so strong. We had tight ends play the way they're supposed to play. And that's huge, right? Kat says, that's what I've been talking about. We can still win with Tua if Mike keeps the run going strong. Absolutely, yeah. We were both talking about that yesterday, Kat. Yeah, it's that simple. It's if we can keep running the ball, it really, as long as Tua just doesn't turn the ball over a bunch, we're going to win games. It's that simple. The run game is very hard to stop, and the Jets got a taste of that today. And I'm not here to talk a bunch of smack about the Jets. That's not how I do things. You guys know the only team that I'll talk a bunch of smack about and hatred for is the Bills. That's it. Patriots and Jets, I mean, they're division rivals, but I'm not going to sit here and just talk down about the Jets. It's just not how I do things. It was, like I said, it was an all-encompassing victory for the Miami Dolphins just because of the rush game alone. Forget about everything else, even though there's a lot to talk about here. The rush game was incredible. 240 yards rushing total. That's amazing. And on the backs of 3 separate running backs, really. I mean, Darren Waller had a rush, and Jalen Waddle had his one carry. But this was Jalen. This was Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, and Ollie Gordon. This was their game, and we got to give them credit for this. This was a Masterclass of rushing is what this was. As far as passing goes, Jalen Waddle led with 5 catches for 50 yards on 7 targets, so he had 2 incompletions. 1 touchdown reception on there too. So good day from Jalen Waddle. Like I said, not a ton of yards, but when you have 240 yards rushing, you don't need a ton of yards through the air. You just don't. And that puts him at like 370 yards, 360 yards total for the offense this week. It's a great game. Tua did have the 1 fumble, but it was recovered. Good eyes on Ollie Gordon recovering that ball and making sure we held on to it. As far as the defense goes, Jordan Brooks and Ashton Davis led the team with tackles. They each had 6. 3 interceptions for the Miami Dolphins today. Ethan Bonner coming up with a huge one-handed snag. That was incredible to watch. Ethan Bonner with his interception. Dotson had an incredible interception where he's doing an impersonation of a thigh master. Man, it was incredible. Rasul, I think, Rasul had the other interception. This was a great game by our defense. 6 sacks. 6. Zach Sealer had 2.5 on his own. Just a fantastic game by our defense. Who were those sacks? Let me look at that real quick. 2.5 from Zach Sealer. 1 sack from Iffy. 1 sack from Willie Gay. Willie Gay making an impact when he gets in the game. You got to love Willie Gay. Bradley Chubb with another half sack for him. Chop Robinson adds another sack to his totals for the year. Chop Robinson's playing fantastic lately. He was heavily involved today. Just great all-around effort by our defense, okay? We talked about the interceptions. I will say this about the New York Jets. Now we see why the New York Jets have the number 1 rated special teams in the NFL. We see it now. It gets mentioned occasionally and you hear it, but you kind of let it fly out your ear as soon as you hear it. And then you watch this game and you see how adept the special teams is for the Jets. They've got a fantastic thing going there with their special teams, and the Jets would be absolute fools to get rid of their special teams coordinator if they do. I hope they don't. I mean, that team has got great special teams. We saw that today with the punt return. 78 yards, I think it was what it was, and a touchdown. Yeah, 78-yard touchdown return. Fantastic. It was an amazing play, and even though it was against our team, I'm still watching it thinking, man, that was great. That was a great play. Great effort by him. And that, I don't know if you know this, but that was the same guy that earlier this season when the Dolphins played the Jets, that was the same guy that muffed that punt, and we recovered it. That was the same guy. So it was a little bit of vindication for him. So very cool to see for him. Probably wouldn't be as cool to see if we were losing this game. So, defense 6 sacks today was amazing. And that was the only bad thing about the Dolphins with special coverage today. But here's the thing. The Dolphins have one of the top-ranked special teams in the NFL as well. So I wasn't, like I said, you're going to have those little whoopsies, right? There's going to be blips on the radar that kind of indicate the opposite of what it is. And that's kind of what happened today. The Jets took advantage. You got to give them credit for that. Their 1 touchdown was on special teams. So special teams gets the game ball for the Jets. I mean, they're the bright spot in the darkness for New York right now. It was good. It was good to see Miami have a game like this, just an all-around dominating game, right? Let's see here. Let me pull this up. Yeah, 358 total yards for Miami against 207 for the Jets. The Jets had 3 turnovers. Miami had 0. Miami had 23 first downs. The Jets had 12. Penalties. Jets had 6 penalties for 50 yards. Miami had 5 for 54. About even there. Third down conversions. Miami was 2 for 10. Jets were 1 for 12. Red zone. Miami was 4 of 4 in the red zone. That's what you need. That's what you need. That's what you need. And the red zone for the Jets was 0 for 3. 36 minutes and 7 seconds of possession for Miami versus 23 minutes and 53 seconds for the Jets. Like I said, Miami just dominated this game all around. It's one of those few games this year where Miami played a good game all around. Play calling wasn't horrible. There was a couple instances where I felt like we kind of got away from the run a little bit there in the second and third quarters, but not totally. Just I feel like the play calling got a little stagnant and got a little lazy for a little bit there. But Mike McDaniel did adjust and punched him in the mouth again. And look what happened. No score in the second and third quarter for Miami, and then in that fourth quarter they or no score in the third quarter for Miami, and in the fourth quarter they put up 10 more. We did have 3 points in the second quarter, so we need to fire our special teams coordinator, or he needs to improve. And Tua has been a problem, and I know Tua has been a problem. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but I am going to push back a little bit on the fire of the special teams coordinator. Miami Dolphins in the past 5 years have been last in the league or second to last in the league every single year until this year. This year, we're actually one of the top special teams in the NFL. Not number one, but we've been top 10 all year. It's been one of the few consistent bright spots for Miami this year has been our special teams, consistent, right? All throughout the season, every game. Like I said, we did have that one boo-boo today, and we got punished for it. But I don't think we should fire our special teams coordinator. Everybody could improve, right? That can always happen. But our special teams is actually one of our strong points on this team. I don't think firing him would be a good decision at all. Special teams is playing hard for him. So let's see. The real test is Monday night versus Pittsburgh. Tua needs to get better going into the colder environment. Yes, he does. I will say that the cold didn't seem to affect. It wasn't super cold anyway, right? Let's not pretend that this was a freezing cold game, right? It was chilly, but it's a good start to an adjustment because next week we have a cold game. I mean, it was. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. It was pretty cold today in Pittsburgh, and that's where we're going to be next Monday night. And that's going to be a huge game for Miami. The chance to get back to 7-7, to get to 500 after such a horrible start. That's a big game. And it's got implications. Pittsburgh ended up pulling it out today against Baltimore 27-22. And they're going to want to kind of continue that on that trajectory. I understand, dude. I get it. I don't live in Florida, obviously. I don't know if you know. I mean, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, by the way. But thanks for coming in either way. But yeah, I'm in North Pole, Alaska, so I'm about as far away from Miami as I can get. And dude, I'm of the opinion that once it gets, 30 degrees is chilly, 10 degrees is still chilly, but it's not cold. 0 is an amazing weather for going outside and snowboarding and snow machining and hanging out. I hate when it gets below 30 below. 30 below and colder sucks. And actually right now it's right around 20 below and getting colder. We're supposed to hit 30 degrees below 0 tonight. It's going to be just frigid. Anything after 30 below, it doesn't matter what the temperature is. It's cold. But it's just what you're used to, right? So your comment, you're right. It's just what you're used to. If you're used to 80 degrees and high humidity, anything that gets, below that, that's going to get pretty cold pretty quick, especially, 20, 25 degrees, which is what it's supposed to be in Pittsburgh next Monday for our game, 25, 20 degrees, somewhere in there. It's going to be cold. So these Dolphins, they need to get, as accustomed to the cold weather as they can. And that's kind of why I was happy to see them play well. Let's just forget about the decent. They played well today in chilly weather. Not cold, but chilly. And what's encouraging me about the cold weather play this year for Miami, at least the opportunity to play in the cold, is that we have a run game that's doing very well. And you have to have that to succeed in cold weather. So I'm encouraged by it, right? I'm hoping that is a little bit of a help for Miami when they go to play in against these cold teams. 6-man line and 3-headed beast. I like our chances. That's right there. That's what it is. And strong tight end play. We can't forget that. The tight ends are playing out of their minds right now. And when you have that, when you have even the ones that are known for pass catching and not blocking, like Dulcich, even Even Waller made some legit blocks today. When you see those things happen, you've got to be encouraged. Is that what it says? Because I was hearing reports that it was supposed to be like 25 or 20 degrees. I would much prefer that. I would much prefer 37 with a chance of snow. That'd be much better. Cat, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. No. How dare you? Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's pull this up and let's watch some of these highlights just for funsies. Just check some of this stuff out. Those of you that missed any of the game, it'll be a chance to watch some of the highlight plays. Where'd it go? Stand by. I'm having issues because, of course I would. Bear with me here. Apparently, I decided to delete my share tab, which is stupid. That's no big deal, though. I'll get us queued up. All right. There we go. Boom. And boom. There we go. All right. Yes. Watch some of these amazing plays. This is that end around from Jalen Waddle. And then look at the blocking. Aaron Brewer and Ingold out there leading the way. There's no one left unblocked. And that's what I love to see. Another Devon Achane run. And this is the one where he gets stacked up and slips out. Like what? How do the Jets let that happen? How do you let that happen? That is incredible. Dead to rights, and they just let him slip out. And I made a joke about this play right here. That when this happened, I'm in a group chat with a bunch of YouTube content creators, and when this happened, I was like, man, maybe that's the trick. Maybe we need to let Tua get hit when he's about to throw the ball, and then it'll be on time and in stride, because that's exactly what happened here. Tua got decked, and he put that ball exactly where it needed to be. It was a beautiful pass. You got to give the thumbs up for that. Jalen Waddle never even had to break stride. It was just a wonderful throw. And that's what you like to see, right? You got to love it. And this is Tyrod Taylor's it was all day for him like that. Rasul Douglas has been playing like a beast all year. And this is the guy that we need to sign. We need to make sure we don't let him go anywhere. Dulcich needs to stay with the Dolphins. He's not going to cost a bunch of money, and he is a beast. But if you get a second in some of these plays, watch the blocking. It's incredible. Yeah, you're right, Kosa. He did. Another fantastic run by Achane. It's just the run game was on point, and it's largely because of the way our tight ends and our offensive line was playing today. They were looking for contact. And if you watch these plays as far as our defense goes, if you watch these plays where the Jets are on offense, look at how quickly their pocket gets collapsed. This was that fantastic interception by Dotson where he was pretending to be a thigh master. I was worried he was going to pop that ball the way he was squeezing it. This is a good run by Ollie Gordon. It's like I said, the Dolphins were falling forward for 3 or 4 yards every time. It was good to see. Another Dulcich catch. Dulcich was everywhere all day. And then Jalen Wright comes in after Devon gets kind of wobbled with a rib injury. It looked like, man. Yeah, well, Kosa, you're right. When it's snowing, it's not as cold. So it can't snow when it gets to a certain amount of coldness, right? So when it gets super cold, that's when you need to worry. So if it's snowing, it's going to be warmer temperatures. So you got to think of it that way. Like up here, we never get snow unless it's above 10 below. So if it's 10 below or warmer, then there's chance for snow certain times. But if it's 10 below or colder, we ain't going to get snow. It just doesn't happen. And it's like that everywhere. There's rare opportunities where you're going to get snow in cold weather, but for the most part, if it's snowing, it's warmer. This is that fantastic punt return. And like I said, you can't hate on this. This was just fantastic special teams play. This was a good special teams against another good special teams, and they got us there. Period. It was good for them. Isaiah Williams, dude, he's the guy that muffed that punt against the Dolphins earlier in the year. So this was a little bit of a redemption for him. You can't be mad about it. It is what it is. It was a good play by him. Look at all the people he made miss on this. This wasn't fantastic blocking by the Jets. This was fantastic play by him. That's it. He was just making people miss. Jalen Wright getting on the outside like that, turning the corner. You got to love to see this. This is what we should have been wanting for so long from this run game. And we got it today. Tua sacked. Surprise. But it was his only sack for the day. And that's, and that I wouldn't really put all that on Tua. The pocket collapsed pretty quick there. But if you watch this offensive line, they all played very well today. And I'm going to give a shout out to Savaianaya. He played very well today. Defense was just stingy. Fantastic game played by the secondary. 2 interceptions from our DBs. Devon Achane, just get off of me. That's the play where he kind of got hurt. And it looked like he was limping at first, but then it looked like it was his rib because the way he was on the sideline kind of pointing at his ribs like, something's wrong up here. So, I don't know. No, I haven't heard anything yet. Buddy. I don't know yet. I'm going to keep my ears open, though. And that right there is that's just a good catch. I mean, he's watching the quarterback's eyes. He sees him looking the whole way. Yeah, I know what you meant, buddy. I haven't heard any updates on him yet. When we get out of here, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch some of the post game stuff and see if I can find out. But no updates right now. But here's my thing with Daniels. Even if he's not back, ever gonna come back, I mean, do we need him? I mean, the offensive line is playing very well together, and I think part of that is because they've been playing together. I would almost hate to put him in the flow right now. But we'll see. We'll see. That's good to hear, Steve. Hey, Steve, dude, what is up, my dude? Salute to you, man. Thanks for coming in here, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's that's great to hear that the rib is nothing serious. That's really good to hear. This was that one drive where the Jets had a little bit of momentum going and then just could not come up with it today. But hey, they got a field goal. So 3 points on our defense in this game for the Jets. The 7 was from special teams. So, and like you said, you got to like a lot of the stuff that that Tua did today, just because he wasn't ruining the game. But you would like to see more from our starting quarterback. It is starting to become concerning, right? But I'm not losing sight of the fact that our run game was a boss today. And when you have a run game like this, look at this. When you have a run game like that, why do you need to pass the ball? You don't. Very rarely would you pass. And that's what we saw today. We saw a run game that was like, just keep feeding us the ball. We got this. Defense was stingy. Defense pushed. I mean, Cook was running for his life this whole game. Old Zach Wilson in the game. At this point, nothing mattered. It was over. That's what we were looking at today, guys. The Dolphins were on it. And those of you that are in here, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys throw that like down, and make sure you subscribe if you're new. I won't let you down. I'm curious what you guys think. What do you guys think about this? Were you as happy as I was? Because I was beaming watching this game. I was happy. This was great. Of course, I've been wanting to see a game like this from Miami for a long time. And that's a good decision. I think that's a fantastic call by McDaniel. When we have Jalen Wright, and like I said, the run game was going so well today, I don't think it mattered who was rushing the ball. You could have put Quinn Ewers back there as a running back, and I think we would have still had a decent game rushing. It was just one of those games. Miami did pretty well. And 34 to 10. That's what you want to see. No, it wasn't that. It's just every time I show highlights on screen like I just did, the video gets struck down. Like there's gaps in the videos that I've posted in the past where the few times where I've done this, they get deleted. But I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go with what I want to do. So I'm not making money off this anyway. This isn't like a job. This is more like just fun for me. So I'm going to do what I want to do. And if they strike the video, fine. But at least the people who are watching it live get to see it and we get to talk about it, right? No, every time that I've put a game back there on that TV, previous game, anytime I've done that, I've never had an issue. But as soon as I share it to the screen itself, and then I start having issues. So I'm not sure why it's like that. I'm not sure. It's kind of lame though. So today, let me pull this up now. Let's see. NFL. I want to pull up the games. Talk about this stuff. We had Denver's smoking the Raiders right now, so I would expect that to continue. I'm just talking about the games that kind of have an effect to us. Tonight, Houston at Kansas City. That's a big one for us to watch. I wish both those teams could lose. I would like to see a tie in that game. But we'll see what ends up happening. Miami did what they needed to do. That's the most important part of this. Pittsburgh beat Baltimore 27-22. That can help us. Either way, if that game would have gone either way, it would help us. So, because one of those teams has to win that division, right? So the other team you want to lose, and right now we should be rooting for Baltimore to lose a lot. New Orleans beat Tampa Bay. That doesn't affect us at all. I just want to mention that. That's crazy. 24-20. New Orleans wins over Tampa Bay. Indianapolis lost to Jacksonville. That could be important, especially if Tennessee or if Houston does winning things like they've kind of been wanting to do. So we'll see. Jacksonville won that game 36-19 against Indianapolis. Tennessee beat Cleveland 31-29. Cincinnati loses to Buffalo 39-34. It was snowy. You kind of saw that snow game coming, but Buffalo ended up pulling out the win 39-34. Absolutely no defense in that game, and you had to expect that if you know anything about those two teams. I mean, you knew that was going to be like that. That's to be expected, right? So with that, you look at the standings, and when you pull up the conference standings, this is the part. Things are starting to get interesting, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the Miami Dolphins are hanging around. The Cincinnati Bengals are at 4-9. The Miami Dolphins are at 6-7. Guess who else is at 6-7? The Baltimore Ravens. Now, here's my thoughts. I'm going to root for the Chiefs. I'm going to root for the Chiefs to lose tonight. It's hard to say that. Let's see here. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place right now, you guys. I got a lot going on my screen. I'm going to root for the Chiefs to lose tonight. And I'm going to hope that the Chiefs and the Colts end up losing a lot. Those are going to be the two teams that I'm going to single out because of this. I'm going to hope the Chiefs lose tonight and Houston wins. That'll put Houston at 8-5 and the Chiefs at 6-7. There'll be a 3-way tie for 11th, 10th, and 9th place in the conference. That'll be Miami, that'll be Kansas City, and that'll be Baltimore. I'm going to continue to hope for this trend. I do think Kansas City finishes with a losing record this year. I do not think they make the playoffs. I think right now the Dolphins are playing much better than Kansas City is. So we'll see how it ends up going, but I'm gonna hope for that. That's what I'm pulling for. I think I see a lot of losses in the Colts' future here, just because of the injury to Daniel Jones, which was gruesome. With that, I see the Colts losing some games. Also, kind of looking at the Chargers to lose some games too, which is an entire possibility. So if you're looking at this, you should be encouraged as a Dolphins fan. We should all be encouraged. Like I said, I still don't think we make the playoffs, but I'm rooting for every game to be a win for sure. And I'm watching these players and how they grow. And right now, we're seeing growth on this Dolphins team. That's what we should be excited about. That's what it's all about anyway, is looking at growth, looking at your team and going, man, they're doing pretty good. They're doing well. They're playing good. They're improving. That's what we should want. Let's see. I think Jacksonville wins their division, and that puts the Colts down. If the Colts lose a couple games, they're going to be out of the playoffs. Those teams that we should be looking at here, it's the 6th and 7th seed. The Chargers and the Colts have those two seeds right now. Man, it's going to be an interesting finish this season, guys. All the Dolphins can do is try to win their games. We started the season at 2-7. Now we're 6-7, with a chance to go on Monday night against the Steelers in cold weather, take a couple of those narratives and shove them firmly up everybody else's ass, and win some games and get back to a 500 record. It doesn't get any more picture perfect than that. This is the opportunity that the Dolphins have been waiting for. A chance to prove some things wrong and prove some things to themselves. This is exciting. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be watching that Monday Night Football game with heavy interest, not just for a win, but for the growth of this team, for improvement from these players. And I'm going to be streaming. I'll be live in that game. And we'll be watching it together. Those of you that don't have any plans to be at somebody else's house or with your friends watching this game, jump on the stream with me and watch it with me. I'll have the link open so people can jump in and tell me what they're feeling as the game's going on, and we'll have a good old time over here on my channel. This is shaping up to be an interesting end of the season, and this is not at all what is indicative of Miami Dolphins football. December is supposed to be when we play our worst. We just witnessed one of our best games. Forget about who it was against. Forget about who we played against. This was a division game that we absolutely smoked the New York Jets. A team that's been playing a lot better. The Jets have not been playing bad. They've been playing good football the last few weeks. But not today. Today, your Miami Dolphins, my Miami Dolphins, our Miami Dolphins stepped out onto the football game and said, screw this, we're going to smoke these fools. And they did. We should be happy. Is there room for improvement? Yes, there is. But we should be happy with this. And we should enjoy this victory. Enjoy the rest of Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. This is a guilt-free Sunday now. We can watch football, enjoy the rest of our day, and be happy that we won. Enjoy yourselves. Be happy. Those of you that are here, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you throw the like down. Share the channel with other people, other Dolphins fans especially. Tell them about me. Have them come check me out. Make fun of me. Like the videos. Hate the videos. Whatever you want to do. Comment. Tell me I suck. Whatever you want to do. Do it. Even negative feedback helps out. Miami Dolphins win 34-10 on the backs of our running backs and on the backs of our defense. Fantastic game by the Miami Dolphins. Thanks for watching, guys. We will talk to you guys probably Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'll be back. And I will be live for the Monday night game as well. And I can't wait to spend some more time with you guys on this little channel in my corner of YouTube. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. Fins up and stay hopeful. Today it's easier than it normally is. And we'll talk to you guys later.